Hey Dan, Brad, what's up?
Hi, Scott. Thank you for the introduction. Brad, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's Wednesday again. Welcome.
Wednesday, buddy, Wednesday again. We're back at it. And we got an exciting webinar for everybody. Before we get started, can everyone see my screen?
Yep, it's coming through very nicely.
Okay, awesome. Wally, thank you. Mike, thank you. Trade Ideas is not a registered advisor. All the information you're going to be seeing is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a registered investment advisor if you want specifically registered investment advice. That's the disclaimer. And we're going to jump kind of right into the meat, Brad. I'm going to minimize this real quick. And, well, actually, let me go here before we jump into the meat. As Scott was saying, and if any, a lot of you are, of course, already subscribers, but for those that don't know, we have a spring test drive. You can pass that link around to other people if you think they might be interested in trade ideas. It's a pretty big deal. We do these like roughly around every 3 or 4 months, and we expect a big turnout. So now I'm going to minimize. Kind of
now the meat.
Now the meat. So look, ladies and gentlemen, let me pull up the SPY here. So when you have a day like this, okay, and this is for people that tend to generally trade from the positive point of view, okay, when you have a day like this, it's very difficult to be able to stay into any trades on the long side. Brad,
I mean, without question, and to really do the day justice, my friend, you should probably like show the open along with where it closed yesterday, and that just kind of adds another level of magnitude of difficulty to the situation. So you had it start to move up pre-market, right? And
right. Yep. Started to move up pre-market, came down, then it came down quite a bit, but then it rallied all the way up, made you think. So this is, okay, when I've said this, I'm going to reiterate something that I said on the podcast with Jamie, and I'm going to really encourage all of you guys, because this is what today's Q&A webinar is very much a rehashing of the podcast, and I'll explain why. So look, the market gets into a situation where it's called if in doubt, don't paddle out, or sometimes it's like the toughest of environments. And what those things look like is something like this, where you go down, okay, and let's say over here you're thinking, okay, we bottomed, you buy, and then you got this amazing move, and you're like, all right, look, just let it pull back here, it'll be fine. Or maybe okay, I'll break even. Takes you out, you're like, dang it. So now you're thinking about maybe getting short somewhere around here. Then it rips back up above where it was here before plummeting down. This is pure, unadulterated chaos. You have to understand that this takes place. If you don't, you're really not going to be positioned to succeed in the market, because you have to take the emotions out of it. You have to be kind of attached to the sensation and the feeling you might be experiencing, the fear and the greed, to be able to really make a sound decision, sound judgment. I mean, even from the AI's point of view, look how challenging it was, okay? And by the way, this is the other thing. Brad, when you're, like here, if you're in pure risk on mode, okay? So if you were trading everything here, and I'm saying this for emphasis because on a day like this, which is very challenging, okay, and you're trading pure risk on mode, and if you're in pure risk on mode, you'll do worse than this and worse than that, because there'll be spread and commission. So you can imagine like 230, so that's like $460, and then minus 120. Okay, so that would be $300 and something. But that's something else that I want to say, Brad. If that's how terrible it is when you're in a full risk on mode, right, then you should still be able to handle those kind of oscillations. So, and again, that's a lot of trading. I'm not expecting everyone to do all of that necessarily, but I'm just saying that even in this situation where it's tough, you still have some on the bright side, okay? And if you played risk off, well, you know, it's like going to the driving range. And that's something else, Brad, that I really think gets underutilized, or maybe not enough of a emphasis on the fact of risk off mode is there for a specific reason, you know?
Well, you know, it allows you to minimize the market volatility of the day and really just take each independent trade and execute it for what it is.
That's right. You're trading it kind of in capital preservation mode. There's a reason why we did that. You know, because we know, look, in this situation, after trying many trades here, right? So let's talk about this in risk on mode. If you expand it out, you're probably talking about 50, 50, 100, so minus $100. Brad, would you say that's a relatively high level, decent guess? If you're doing full tilt.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not talking about full risk. You're talking about risk.
No, I'm talking about risk off, and I'm still giving you like twice as much for spread and commission.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that even on the bad days, there is the positive side of being able to execute limiting your losses, not exposing yourself to the full ride, which is what you see here. But all of this has to do with account size, what you're able to stomach, etc. But that brings me kind of to the next section. I really encourage everybody to take a look at the podcast. I want to talk about some things that we're bringing on for everybody, really, that's going to benefit everybody at that uses trade ideas. So one of the things that we're doing is we're going to be incorporating paper trading. Okay, so right click, being able to not just send a price alert, but have an execution component to every chart where you can say, okay, I'm going to put my buy right here and I'm going to put my sell here, and do it the way we talked about before when you're doing it in aftermarket mode. So here I'm going to give you an example of just what that could look like. So create an alert. Let's say here I'm just trying to buy the swing exit. Maybe I'll go a little bit lower. I'll call. Okay, so here's my buy point. Of course, I can right here. I can. Brad, do we have an edit, or am I?
Yeah, you know, we don't. It's something that we do need to add. You need to now go into your price alert window to be able to.
Right, I would have to go somewhere else. But the idea is I can also set the stop, and I'm just kind of flying by. I'm going quick. But the idea is that if this comes close to here, to 750, you're buying, and you can say my stop is going to be just a little bit below there. Okay. When that takes place, let's go to Windows.
Price alert? Yep.
Okay. So you guys see how this window, my price alert window, is a window that I've had going on for a while now, and this is the genesis and the kind of the hypothesis of what we're turning into the full Trade Ideas paper trading mode. Okay, so that you can see that what things work and how do I stay in them. Like, let's talk about.
So by the way, Dave, for people that do have an account with Interactive Brokerage and have access to our Brokerage Plus module, you can paper trade. You can do that now, but we want to completely take that step out so that you don't need to have a brokerage relationship to do this.
Correct. So The idea is that here you can see the various gains you have. What are the losses? Like why are you, here I'm long QQQ. Did I go in the wrong direction, Brad? That's weird. Oh, since I'm looking at the wrong, sorry guys, looking at the wrong price.
It's complex software.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've done this part of the demo, but the dollar since triggered.
Yeah, this way you can see how far you're away from the alert prior to triggering and so forth.
Right. So here, again, this was actually a very, very good buy point. And notice when I made it, it was probably on one of these Q&A webinars, QQQ going up on 1/2/2019, right here. So the thing is that we're going to turn this, though, into really a portfolio, a position where you will be able to see, okay, this is when, instead of triggered, it's your entry date, is when you got in. So it's kind of similar. Which way you went, this won't be as important. Obviously, it's the symbol. This is your alert price is your entry price. Your gains are what you're gaining, and your current price is where you are now. Everything else then becomes a little bit less important. Okay? Yes, Waleed, to build a portfolio using paper trading money. But we're going to make it so that you can, again, every stock, everything you pull up will have an execution panel on it that's very similar to Brokerage Plus. The idea is that we're combining and merging everything so that a lot of these windows that you see right now, so if I go to the Surge channel, okay, you will see a kind of a Brokerage Plus component there. You'll see execution panels. You'll see the ability to be able to trade any stock, and we will keep tabs of that position for you, and including the fact that you can put in logic there like buying power, so that you're not just sitting there and every time something good's going on, you buy it. Because that's a little bit of what I was doing in this window right here. Where did I go? I don't know what I did with my window, Brad. Oh, did I leave it because I moved it away? Mine went away?
I don't know, buddy.
Okay, that's all right. The point I'm trying to make is a portfolio that you're managing, that you're kind of managing in a swing trading mode so that you can hopefully be in it longer and ride big trends. I mean, we're always trend hunting. That's really the idea. We want to get you into the trend mode, hunt the trends, and hopefully have those trends stay valid as long as you can risk manage it, and we will assist with that as well. The other thing is we're going to be creating a product that's going to be, and now here's what's kind of cool. All of this paper trading stuff, and as I've said before, let me pull it. Okay. All of this paper trading stuff, although the technology is already here, okay, you can see the tech, you can see what we're doing. We're going to make it easier for you to follow so that you really understand and are able to keep track of all of the data, like how much buying power is this tying up if you were really, because nobody would, I mean, you're not going to be in a portfolio like this. So that therefore you will have to make decisions. Like if you want to get into something else, you'll have to get out of something else. These are the kinds of things that are critical to success, because otherwise it's, you're just playing around. So when we add this will give you a smooth transition from all the things that you're doing on the charts right to Brokerage Plus and trading. And here's something cool. The paper trading is going to be available for both premium, standard, and the mobile app that we're going to be making as well. That's going to be, now the mobile app is going to be included in your premium and standard subscriptions. But there's also going to be a standalone mobile app that is kind of, and a smaller tiered price product. We're not exactly sure of the price yet, but the idea is that it's going to be very limited in terms of what you can do here. Just kind of like imagine something like this. I'm going purely, I'm freestyling right now, but I'm giving you a peek into a possible app type environment. Okay, where you have no channel bar, you've got something like this, and then something like this. Okay, and it works sort of, and the idea is that for it to be working on the phone, or maybe if there are channels, there's maybe like 2 of them, if anything at all. And so this is sort of your phone environment, and there'll be tabs here that's like portfolio, and you can go see exactly what you've been paper trading. And if you, and there's the real-time notification, so that if you are notified as it's happening and you do have a Brokerage Plus account, then what will happen is that trade can be executed if you are set up that way. Brad, am I missing anything?
I'm sorry, buddy. I was just answering some questions. I left you for a moment.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that the functionality, the feature set that we're providing is designed to really minimize kind of the chase of the stocks, to make it be able to see what's going on, to kind of do longer term planning on the go, and at the same time be able to execute everything and still enjoy some of this functionality that you're seeing. So that you can have like some tabs here that here's your lookup, here's your portfolio, like where we have profile, maybe there's your paper trading portfolio that you're looking on your phone. You can come back here, you can pull up any stock like Facebook, if I can type, and instantly set your buy or sell. And again, in paper trading mode, all of this is done off of the server, off of IB. But if you are an IB customer, and I think very soon we'll be adding other brokerages, if you're other brokerage customer, you will be able to have this sent for auto execution as well. So this is kind of the highlight. If I'm really, I want to get your minds right. Let me move this right here. Okay, so you guys see in this sort of picture right here, this is sort of like what we see as the smaller tiered, much lower price product. And again, I'm just sharing with you guys because I know you guys are mostly premium, but you will have this on your mobile too. And on the mobile, you can imagine, if you have a good imagination, Brad, like I do, it's not always a good thing, as you know.
Nobody has one better.
Oh. Okay, you can imagine here that there are just a couple of maybe tabs, like biggest gainers, or where's our thingy where you can look stuff up? Brad, where's the how do you get the...
you want to right click on there, and you go to now you got to go down a little bit. You got to go into the grid. There you go, because it's context sensitive menu.
Oh yeah. Where's that thing?
Go to properties.
See, Brad's got to train me.
And we have a cylinder score. No, that's not it. There you go. Yep. So you have them both now.
Okay. So you can imagine here, this is the name of the window, and I can go to major indices. See what I mean? I can do this. Losers, top percentage losers. So this is all that you will be able to be doing already. So we're kind of taking the technology that we already have. This is the kind of cool stuff, and obviously it would adjust the size and things like that. But the idea here is that all of this is already available, but what we're doing is we're bundling it together in a cohesive way, so that all of you, all of our friends here, can have this on your mobile, on your iPads and everything else, but for the masses that want to just be introduced to this kind of technology, they will get a flavor of it, a semblance of it, without having to pay the full premium price. So this is really what you're seeing is the first kind of introduction iteration, and obviously this is kind of the ugly version of it, but you know, sometimes it's okay. You know, here you got your daily, you know what's going on. You've got your single stock window, which will probably soon have some sort of news as well. You've got your buy and sell buttons on the charts. You can change your window, and now you've got an ability to actually do stuff mobile, but without having to have avert windows and everything else. Brad, isn't that nice?
Yeah, I know, for sure, it really is.
This is your iPad set, and this is stuff for your iPad, and I know that lots of people don't specifically even know that this is even available. Because again, there's so many things. We're sort of like, in this particular case, we're kind of like Photoshop. We have so much, and people often don't know that there's so much that you can do. But the idea is that instead of like just bombarding you with information, we're really trying to tailor this to your experience, that you can come in here, look at ENPH. Okay, say, okay, do I want to get this or don't I want to get this? Man, I missed it. So, you know, you could right click, create the alert, okay, catching if I can. And yeah, so there. So there's my paper trade. It's there, it's set. It'll go into something over here where you can track all of that. And that is, see, well, I love that Waleed didn't know about it, Brad.
I know, he'll be teaching the next class, right?
Wait, well, guys, this is some of the stuff that one of the reasons why you come here is we're almost burdened by the fact that we have so much. You know, our CTO and us, we always talk about the fact that we need to simplify things for you, and this is part of what we are trying to do. On the other hand, of course, for those that want to go full NASCAR, you know, we always have that. That isn't going away. That's what the Pro product is. But even that, we're trying to, here, let me change some of these windows. So you guys saw this. I'm going to switch channels. Even this stuff, we're working hard to make it not just ideas that stream, but ideas that stream and prompt you to say, do you or don't you want to take some action? And then if and when you do, okay, and this is the examples of the action in action, when you're trading this stuff and it's really happening and it's going live, this is what you can expect. We always want to remind people that we're working towards a situation where you can start easily honing in on what happened yesterday, what happened the day before, like which stocks that the software put me into yesterday were good today. Like, for example, this PLNT, Brad, here's one where it was short yesterday at 75, 76.19. Let me zoom out here. Okay. So short right here, and it's still continuing in this direction. And this is one of these things where even if you missed it, right, you can say, oh, okay, as I'm looking through, okay, this trend is still continuing. You can see what it's looking like on the daily here. Okay, this was the attempted short. That was yesterday? The attempted short yesterday, today, and now we're basically on the winning side of this trade. So our whole point here, and Brad, maybe this is a better way to communicate it. It's like, instead of just focusing on this one day, right, we're starting to alert you like, hey, this trade, it's still going.
Yeah, and you have to also understand the dynamics of that move. You know, it's a knocking on the door, it's a retracement. It's, you know, you have to be flexible with those positions when you want to swing it, you know, because when you look at what happened pre-market today on that one position, it had gapped up pretty good, but came back in. So, you know, it's something that requires a little bit of patience.
Well, here's another example from yesterday. You've got FBP, First Bancorp. I just clicked on this. It was a small winner yesterday, and this is part of the tricky part of only doing things for one day, and why we're trying to bring this view mode to you guys so that you can see it, so that you can accept it and get benefit from it. So here we are now in a 2-day move, and as we do this in terms of the swing perspective, we're going to work to set better stops for you so that you're stopped out. Well, here actually the stop was perfect. I have to tell you, yesterday, Brad. I mean, in terms of that analysis, I was actually looking at it right here, but this is the stop, and you can see that it's basically a stop of highs from the beginning of the month, and now this is continuing. These are the things that we would attempt to have you be able to participate in more once we show you the flow of the data in a better way. And let's take a look at, here's yesterday an example of how you completely kind of got out of it, right? But what if you were averted today? And this is Brad, remember what we talked about when we were discussing this in the previous tutorial? What happens when we automatically reset the trigger the next day? So in other words, this was a short sell right here. You were stopped out, it ran up, and all of a sudden, what happens when you cross here? Well, now you know that this might be working out the right way. So these are the things that we are looking to automate, looking to help you with. Again, and obviously today it's one of these things, it's easy to cherry pick the shorts because the market came down, but I am trying to show you guys that there's just so much more to it, right? It's not all just about the day trades, and we happen to catch very good things. It's just that it's up to us. In fact, Brad, Greenbrier is another one. Beautiful sell. And look at this. Now you just got the buy trigger, and I've been in this one myself. I'm still holding this one from right here. You couldn't have gotten a better sell here, but it would have been difficult because of that next day. And that happens a lot. The next day jitters, the wiggle, that volatility that gets you. But look at this move.
Yeah, it looks really nice risk reward as well. You know where your out is. You know where you're going to be bailing on that long, and it certainly has a lot more upside to it.
Thank you, Waleed. We really appreciate that you're doing that. I mean, the bottom line, guys, is it's the easiest thing to do is be able to get into something and catch this kind of a move versus trying to catch it every day. Now, the idea is that we don't know when you're entering, so we can't tell you exactly like what is the perspective of the entry. So we are doing here with the AI some of the hardest stuff possible. The most painful, the hardest stuff. And we still do it pretty good. These are the things that, again, if you look at the industry, nobody else is showing you trades and putting them on in real time and showing you what they do. And notice, even on a day like today, where everything, like imagine if you were just in a pure isolated environment and the market is getting killed. Well, here's your trade in Thor. Got in, some pullback, and just rode it up all day long. And this is a long trade. So it's beyond just that kind of stuff. It's beyond the grind. That's really if I was going to give a title to our presentation today, beyond the grind of just the day-to-day, we're trying to give you the bigger picture, the better things, the more fluid motion, so that things like GBX, you can get in them, stay in them, and hopefully ride it. And this is what our whole point here is, right, is trying to find a simple solution to a difficult problem. Now, partly we think the difficult problem is because it's made you believe that it's difficult. But here, Brad and I have said this over and over again. We have the entry. Okay, you might have not been able to hold it this day, ignored it the next day, but on this day when it started to fall, re-trigger entry. It's really, Brad, I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah, and one of the things, and I don't know if you mentioned it, you probably did, but we've been talking a lot about the paper trading, but we're also really modifying our price alerts as well to work more hand in hand with our Brokerage Plus tool, so that when a price alert's triggered, you'll have the ability to put your limit order out there, your stop limit out there, or whatever type of order you want to present to the market. Or as we start to migrate to a more mobile-centric device, have that device prompt you as to what it wants you to do, or what you want it to do, rather.
Correct. So we've kind of given you guys a lot of information today. Are there questions that we're missing? Is there anybody have anything that they'd like to ask Brad and I? Because there is a whole other topic they're about to get into. And it's sort of out there, but very important because our CTO is working on it as we speak. 5, 4.
Yes, we're caught up with the questions that have been asked.
Okay. So let me just quickly then, we don't always have to have the longest of the Q&As. The thing that I want you guys to keep an eye on now is that we're officially starting the cryptocurrency. Our CTO is starting to create the server technology for our 24-hour server. This 24-hour server tech is something that could potentially be used to, of course, also help with trading stocks when stocks go 24 hours. And we think that that's going to be there as well, probably within the next couple of years. Because one of the things that I know bugs me the most is after hours stuff, Brad, where you're in the trade, all of a sudden after hours everything gets reversed, and you're like, who's doing this, and how come we, the people, can't do it? And that kind of stuff, that's the technology that's really next generational, because it will allow everybody to be able to participate. Of course, now already when we launch it, you'll be able to get alerts on cryptocurrency, probably get into cryptocurrency on Brokerage Plus once we connect all of that. So just going fully into that space. Brad, what's the best question for Douglas on videos? Douglas, we have such a large library of videos. You can start from the beginning and kind of go all the way to the end.
Yeah, actually, I think I dropped my answer in Waleed's question, but I think, from a foundational perspective, I think the videos depend on what you really want to do, because I don't really know what specifically you want to do with trade ideas. I think that the configuring videos where you understand how the alerts and top lists are constructed is a really great base understanding for seeing how we apply our various alerts for the alert window with the different filters that we have. And understanding the different filters that we have gives you an idea of kind of the metrics that we're looking at. So I think those are really good places. But I also think that our midday webinars, where they're being put on by a couple of our educators, are really helpful, because it's a smaller group, very interactive, and they can kind of open up the software and show you how to configure certain things, or which channels might be best suited for different types of signals. So I think those are the two things that I would recommend.
Waleed, we're grateful for your comments. And by the way, Waleed doesn't work for us, although it seems like it. Although I'm just grateful that you say this. We are passionate about our tech. It's like we're painfully passionate about it. We work so hard on it. We try really hard, and we want you guys to succeed, because we know that it's a difficult environment. We want you guys to succeed, and that's why another thing I'm showing off here is, here's your idea surfing, so that you can see that as things are happening, we challenge ourselves to solve the problems of what is it that I should be looking at. And a lot of people don't even know what to click on, because just taking an action is scary to people. But instead, what we do is here, we're just perusing you through it all. You know, the software, Holly, is like, hey, keep taking a look and let something inspire you without overthinking. Overthinking, paralysis by analysis, is one of the most painful and torturous things in so many things, psychology, golf, anything and everything you can imagine. We people tend to overthink everything because we want these solutions to come cerebrally and for them to come perfectly, but they don't. Trading is, while it's technological and statistical, there's lots of feel to it. Like you get a feeling, like, oh, okay, taco, I'm hungry for some tacos. And it can be as silly as that. And that's what happens. So the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is we're working better to improve the full picture of what the AI is doing for you, so you can see Holly's overall performance better. Again, I don't have snapshots for that, but we're working underneath the scenes to make it easy for you to drill down into this data. Kind of like what we said here, that you can take any strategy, right-click the history, and go to time frame and say, okay, what about 1, 1, okay. And see, now these P&Ls are from the P&L of the software that day. So,
bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. I need the blessing always. So right now this P&L is from. Let me zoom. Here we go.
Yeah, so we're showing the P&L from that specific day that the trade occurred. But one of the things we're working on is bringing in the current last price, the current P&L, so you can see what's been doing great over the last week. What's this time segment? What about the last month? So yeah.
So the idea is, though, you have the data, you can see it in the history, and you can look at it yourself. But we're going to bring it for you, show it to you, so you can analyze it, so you can drill down. And the idea here is simple: find stuff that's starting to work, get in it. From, like, this is your swing trading guide dog. We're blind. This is your swing trading seeing eye dog. Right now, it's set to day trading. It's going to be set to swing trading. Okay. Price, yeah, most likely, but put crypto first. Scott, can you maybe drop a link to the Trade Ideas podcast for people somewhere on there?
The best way for them to get it is to search for Trade Ideas podcast in whatever application they listen to podcasts in and subscribe.
Okay. So there you go. Just look up Trade Ideas podcast on your podcast. We've been doing it for a while now, so it should be easy to find. And listen to it. It's a lot of reiteration of what we talked about, but I kind of broke down more of the details. And it's a longer term plan for where we're going. You know, long term planning, the direction. Interestingly enough, for you guys, since you're on our Q&A, and Brad, you don't even know, but I'm speaking to sort of like the pre-IPO legal discussion tomorrow with a big law firm that handles a lot of the tech IPOs in Silicon Valley. So we've talked about the fact that we potentially go IPO December 22nd, 2020. That's my birthday. People who are subscribers will get shares. People who are affiliates will also get shares. The longer you've been with us, the more shares you would get. The more affiliate work business you've done for us, the more shares you would get. Yeah, you would get. That's our way to give back. So, and we're trying to do it the opposite of the way that Uber and Lyft and all these other guys did it, where they went to private equity and just kept on sucking in money forever. And we're, Steve DeVore, great to see you guys here. Still planning. Again, I cannot say 100% because, you know, the IPO environment is such that it's not always conducive to do, but the idea is that what we've talked about in our conferences and things like that has not changed. Okay.
Oh, don't say that, Mike.
Oh, Brad, they got me. I take that as a compliment. You got to, right, Brad?
You did.
I just know Bill Gates' dark side. Come on, guys. I joke. Thank you. We are beyond grateful for everybody that comes in here, spends times with us, looks at the tech. It's something that gives us immense joy to know that we're helping people, and this is why we do what we do. So we're grateful for your time. So many of you guys come out every day. I want to say thank you. I mean, every day, every time Brad and I are doing it, I want to say thank you. We're blessed to have you here with us, and hopefully more positive information as we continue forward. Brad, I think that's it for what I had today.
Yeah, I mean, heck, you go on and on and on and on, right?
Forever.
Just missed the upgrade, right? It just came out. And so, guys, in the next version, and we're kind of banging away on it right now, but in the next version that we're going to be offering, it's going to have the major indices on the toolbar. So you're going to be able to really keep track of how the broader markets are doing as you're looking at the ideas that are being generated. So just another thing to assist you in understanding how the market, the sentiment of the market's going on at that moment.
Yeah. Scott, did you know that about the Apple, that if you just type in, but I guess because our name is specific trade dash ideas or space, maybe that's how they do it. Interesting. Thanks, Lynn, for letting us know. So Brad, did you get the version update or not yet?
Yeah, it's actually in Dropbox. So yeah.
Why don't you share your screen? Did you download it yet or not?
I can do that. Let's see.
All right, so we're going to leave with Brad's screen here.
All right, is it coming through?
I don't see your toolbar. It must be below the.
I haven't brought my toolbar in yet.
There we go.
So I still have a few issues and a few little graphical nits, but for the most part, there it is, and you get the ability just to select it and bring up the chart and the different studies that you may have on your charts with the various indices.
That's
nothing
one thing
huge, but it's just another thing to give you a little bit of an advantage.
Well, it's that relativity, and especially for new people, like sometimes we forget that like so many people watch the Dow and watch it kind of, like you don't want to be trying to get long if the Dow is down 500 or if it turns around from down 500 to up 100. These things are kind of so critical to people's minds, and you can miss them if you're watching the spiders, just the charts without the numbers. So we're adding this. Just another thing to keep the data flowing smooth, and this will of course be both standard and premium. So yeah, that's it, everyone. Scott, I think that's all that I had. Let me go back to Brad. Why don't you switch? Let me switch back to myself, and we'll finish up.
Should be coming your way.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay, everyone, so we've got the test drive coming in on May 6th through May 10th, so registering is available now. We are a subscription-based service for all of your friends because you guys are all subscribed, but tell all your friends about it. This is how much we cost on a per diem, and you can pay monthly or yearly, but to understand what it is that the full price, we feel like it's a very, very small price to pay for some of the most amazing technology in fintech. And we have a promo code for you, of course. Holly Flowers, April showers bring May flowers, 15% off your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. Barry has a fantastic trading room where people can window shop and just see how other people interact with the software. It's one of our best resources, and he's there every day, just working his butt off, being a moderator of this trading room that has a really good meritocracy and a lot of very good people in it. Here is our Friday podcast. If you are interested to be on there, go to our website, sign up for it, go through your podcast technology, whether it's Apple or anywhere else, search Trade Space Ideas, you will find us. And of course, information to help you get started with lots of different things. Like this book would have come in handy for a day like today. What to do beyond the BFD, BTFD market. And they will come, and there'll be plenty of them. So taking advantage of the short side, how to do that, we provide this free information, very important. And we're very easy to get a hold of. Active on social media, at Trade Ideas, at QuantBot, at Today Trader, Facebook.com, Trade Ideas Pro, and phone number 619-821-8198. And of course, always feel free to send an email to info@trade-ideas.com. Scott, I think that is it for the show.
Yeah, sounds good. We will have a recording of this up later on tonight or tomorrow, and you get an email reminder tomorrow from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist as a reminder of how to find it. So have a good one.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all.
Bye.